I'm a little racist because when I see a homeless person, I help a black homeless person out before I help a white homeless person. Why? Because a white homeless person, you can just go put on a suit and boom, you can get a job the next day. A black homeless person, you could put on a suit. It's not easier for you to get up from being.
You ain't even got to be homeless to not get a job being black.
Yeah. So when I see black homeless people, I feel like they tried, but then they're them trying hard enough to stop. And then when I see white homeless people, I'm like, y'all drugged up. I do have that little.
I mean, that probably is a little racist because I used to feed the homeless every Sunday, and I would see equally black and white. And when I would go typically to Kensington and Allegheny to feed homeless people, I done seen people shoot dope right in front of me, and I'm feeding them.
Both black and white do that.
It's about to feel so good. You get what I'm saying? Really? So like, you're gonna get that experience from each party, and I mean, obviously, I feel like when you're thinking of the homeless person, the best thing you could do is try to feed them versus give them money, because you don't know that person's circumstance. And money might help them. I do believe in myself in feeding. That could be my wrong with dealing with homeless people, but I don't feel the vibe of the black and white thing. Only on the strength, even though I know white supremacy and the strong powers of white America did us dirty, but poor white people go through even worse not even worse, but just almost equal to what black people go through. It's definitely not worse, but they don't got a silver spoon. They just got a silver image. They don't got a silver spoon though.
I would help a homeless person get their shit together. I wouldn't just keep giving them food. Like whenever I have food and I know I'm about to waste it, I personally look for a homeless person, black or white, to give it to. But as far as money, if you're with a child and you're homeless, I give you money before anything because I'm sensitive for the kid and their suffering. If you look like every time I never liked that vibe though. That joint and you give me the vibe that all you do is drugs, I'm not gonna keep giving you money.
I mean, them homeless moms that be coming up to me with the kids, I'm not gonna lie, I don't be too hyped to give them money. I'll give them something to eat, but they try to make you feel too bad for not saying yes, and I don't like that. They be real, giving you all this pressure. Like I don't like that energy.
I mean, some of them are trafficked.
They always come with a story. I don't like no story.
Some of them are trafficked to do that. Like some of them have men over them, making them act like that, so they can give some of the money to them. I've seen it happen in New York. It was a guy and his wife, and I guess a bunch of their like Mexican looking friends. They were putting all this stuff on their face. They got on a Forest Hill. They got on Forest Hill, the E train that's on Forest Hill, and they were acting poor, but they were just with their husbands. It was a lady and her friend. They were giving the monies to them because I seen them exchanging the money and giving it to them. And I was just
that's
like,
what I'm saying. That pressure but the way it comes delivered is like she's coming with like a sad story. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's just me and my child. Like I don't be mad at it because they doing whatever they doing, but I'm not being the money. We get some food though. Like what do you want to eat? I got you. I go in the store real quick. I got you. But you never.
But when I buy a lot of food and I feel like I'm about to waste it, I feel like come on now, like somebody else deserved that because they're really literally going through trash and stuff like that. But I feel like every person that's homeless have the formula to get their stuff out of there, but they get so comfortably lazy and it's so easy for people to feel sorry for them that they don't. A lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them don't. Because all right, if the same amount of grind that you have begging people for money, you beg people for a job, you can get it. You can eventually get it.
One thing I did learn, statistics with homeless people, a lot of them are where they are because of mental issues, which also leads, which also does lead to drug use and all that stuff. Like when I say mental issues,
because that's their escape. Their escape is a drug. It's a drug that they put in their body.
So mental issues could be anything from they're like just mentally challenged to actually like they're just going through depression or whatever. So I heard there was this one story I heard of this because I was at I was doing Salvation Army. I was helping out like a month ago. Right. And we were asking the lady that we were helping, like, so tell us a story of something that happened here that like something that was on that really touched you or whatever. She was telling us, so one day there was this lady. She had a good job apparently. She was perfect. I believe she was actually a lawyer or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she had a kid, a young son that died. That made her go into a crazy thing where she was just walking around the street for like a week. Like she was fine, had a job, has a degree, blah blah blah. Her son died. She went crazy.
This is a real story.
Yeah, and she ended up. They ended up seeing her. So I guess they walk around and they find people that seem like they might be. But they were saying one thing about her is that you couldn't tell that she was homeless. But when they stopped and talked to her, because she seemed like she was kind of like out of it. When they stopped and talked to her, they found out, yeah, she hasn't been home in a long time. She's been wandering the streets in her depression.
Trying to find herself because she lost her son.
Yeah, in her depression, she just wandering the streets. And then they brought her into the shelter. Yeah, I was helping at a shelter. That's what it was. They brought her into the shelter and slowly brought her up, gave her, they helped her with the psychiatrist and all that stuff. But they found out, and then after talking, that's when they found out, like, she was, she had a life. What took her, it was that one little thing. I mean, not one, that's not a little thing. One thing.
Eggnog.
No, I ain't even, I had 151 earlier.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but one thing snapped, and a regular person became mentally off, a homeless.
Let me tell you something.
Some people, it's not even really, it's not really even like their fault. It's just something happened that was just so traumatizing that it just completely 180'd their life.
And let me say this too, though. Let me say this is to me, this is the number one thing. Black people, relationships, a lot of things are lacking because the real topic is nobody could tell you how to handle trauma, but for the most part, we're not really taught how to handle adversity because this type of person could have also been on a spiral of consistency of letting small things dominate them. Not saying that the big thing that did take over her life or made things go 180 didn't have the right to take over, but a lot of times people that aren't taught how to handle adversity keep letting small things eat them up, or that one big thing that eats them up. They don't really see anything else after that, so they kind of let it dominate.
They basically become crippled by their circumstance.
Exactly.
So
and that's
what happened
the
to her.
Advantage that Black people have.
It crippled her.
That's why we probably don't shoot up schools because we're born into struggle. So us being born into struggle probably gives us an advantage to not.
She was Black.
A bunch of motherfuckers. Oh, she was Black.
She was Black.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. It was a Black lady.
She probably went through a lot of shit, and that shit probably really hurt her. And I feel bad. That's not a good job because that probably was her everything. That's probably all she felt like she had.
You know what I mean? And I can see where someone who, it sounds like she was a single mom. You know what I mean? And all you have is your kid, and that happens. You know what I mean?
All you have is your kid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Some people go through that off of a breakup. Imagine your kid.
Speaking of kid, do you hear about
that's probably the only thing they wake up for type joint. I do everything for my child. Damn, I don't even know I'm living anymore type joint. I'm not even close with my family. She probably wasn't close with her family type shit. She probably ain't had family.
I always wondered about that. When I see homeless people, like that to me just seems like you don't have a family. How can someone with family ever be in that situation? You know what I mean? Like you don't have.
Maybe they're not.
I feel like your family could be. Yeah, your family could be dysfunctional. Not dysfunctional in the sense that it doesn't function, but you might have made a mistake and your family bashes you. You feel me? I feel like a lot of homeless people go through shit like that too. Like they come from a good family, probably. You feel me?
Pride.
Yeah, that pride. They could have pride. The family could have pride. So it'd be a lot of shit. So I feel like certain things that we grew up with is a blessing for us.
Yeah.
I'm saying Haitian pride, low key, is a blessing. The pride that Haitian have in general, the whole 9 yards of our pride is low key a blessing.
Yeah, and that's one thing I do say. I would say too. That's why sometimes when I think about if I ever had a kid, would I really want my kid to grow up in the suburbs? I'm like, I don't know. I would like my kid to be strong. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like. So I feel like No, let them go to public
school. My eyes
school.
is hurting so bad, y'all.
Let them go to public school. Let them understand city life. I don't want you to be 30 years old going into the city and scared of the city like, oh my God. And right. You know what I mean? I don't want you being 30 years old and you think like public school is like prison. Like, oh my God, and I couldn't imagine going to public school. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like no, let them experience that. Let them be strong. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a strength.
That's a real joint people go through though. Just me working in the suburbs, like I ran into a person once that be like, I don't get on the bus. Like, but they gave you that look like, I ain't trying to be around no niggas. Like, that's what they really was saying. Like, I be seeing what y'all niggas be doing on the news. I'm saying robbing motherfuckers on the train and shit. I'm not getting on y'all bus, socking people. No, I'm cool.
That's real.
No, but it don't even be that deep. Yeah, for sure,
and guarantee if you spoke to a white guy from man, what was that projects I was right by? Something Hill?
Hill Creek?
Hill Creek.
Because
you know there was mad white people there, right?
Yeah.
He would talk to them white people. Them white people would be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like,
that's like the one that's on 40th Street. There's a lot of white people in that one too. The one that's on 40th Street. It's like I don't really know
if it's such like the duality of it's like
it's not really like it's kind of like a project, but it's like you know how all those hospitals are near 40th and all those like little like Drexel and all that. So that projects is not really like the hood. It's like it's a little different.
Drexel ain't no hood, yo. Drexel's near UPenn and all that.
Not Drexel. University.
You talking about Temple?
No.
University. You said 40. Pennsylvania University.
Something like University.
Because they're all in the same. Yeah, Pennsylvania's.
Yeah, so that
UPenn.
There is a project.
They're all in the same area.
But they're all like it's a bunch of different types of people that's trying to be doctors.
Real diverse.
Every type of people that's living in here. It's not just like
it's like a redesign project type joint.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's a project. It's probably just an apartment community.
I mean,
no, it's probably a project. They got what's the name of the joint?
Like, would you consider Mom's place a project?
No.
So you saying it's worse than that?
Mom's new place? No,
I don't know if you know, but they heavily redesigning. Like a Richard Allen. Richard Allen is a part of North Philly, where these projects got redesigned a few years ago. They look really nice.
Did y'all see where Stephanie
they was like Hill Creek type joints, but now they on some look real nice type joints, but
Brooklyn's like that.
Government housing type joint.
Brooklyn's like that.
A few parts like Williamsburg.
Williamsburg's always been expensive. No, so
I see a lot of gentrification in Brooklyn. Like they're not cleaning up the projects.
That's
but
how
what they're doing is
they
cleaning up around the projects. But I'm talking about Philly. Philly's doing one or two things. They either completely destroying the projects,
rebuilding them.
Some of them they just destroying them. They're getting rid of them, and it's just grass. Or Temple's buying it up, and then you have some that's just they're being destroyed and revamped to look nice.
Yo,
that's what you're getting in Philly.
When I first moved to my apartment, it was predominantly older people, a little bit of challenged people. You seen them before, David, and a lot of black people. Now, please, that whole the whole other building is all like nurses, students, like all people that work at like Trader Joe's and all kinds of
people trying to save money because Philly rent is going up because it's a little.
But my rent is going up. Right, my rent is high. This ain't cheap.
Philly real estate is popping.
I know.
That shit is jumping. But look though.
So how? Okay.
What you gonna say? I was about to talk about the Amber Geyer case shit.
In Dallas.
About that. The boy was fucking. We could talk about that. Yeah, you live in Dallas. The boy.
He wasn't Haitian. He was from he was from a French-speaking country, I think.
They wasn't Asian?
No, it wasn't even a French-speaking. No. He's from.
His last name was Jean, though.
He's African and French. I mean,
no. He's from the islands. He's
African and Haitian?
Yeah, no.
He's from St. Lucia?
St. Lucia, yeah.
He's Haitian.
Okay. They speak Creole.
Yeah, so it's kind of like us. Yeah, it is kind of like us. Sorry, yeah.
Like Martinique and all that shit.
Yeah, Martinique, French, Guadeloupe, all of that.
He Haitian. Here's the thing, though. All right. Hold on. You know,
he's French Caribbean. That's what he is.
When we first talked about the story, I was totally unaware that she killed him inside of his own house.
Oh, word? That was the whole thing.
Yeah,
that was the whole joint. That's why people got
like 10 years for that. She killed. My whole thing is like the second you walk in your house, you can see that it's not your house. Like the furniture, the paintings, the mirrors. Like I'm not going to nobody's house and thinking I'm in my house unless they got hella paintings. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, they probably was like doing stuff with each other.
That's what people are saying.
My girl said she was high.
She was mad. Like he probably was like, I can't do this anymore, and then she used that whole thing as an excuse. And the dude that was a witness, they killed him. The witness died.
Yeah, he died. Yeah, I saw that.
They killed him.
Y'all still hear me?
But he feared his life though.
Okay.
No, yeah, they did kill him, but he was talking in favor of the cops though.
No, he wasn't.
From what I heard, he was talking in favor of the cops.
No, he wasn't. He was
always saying he was scared for his life.
He was scared for his life. He was trying not to say more than he was trying to cover up what he knew and what he saw so he can save himself, but they killed him.
My girl said she thinks
she was high. It was drugs, but it wasn't really drugs. They killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did say he had like he had an arrest record. You know how they do. They got to bring up his past and all that.
They said his killing had no relations to the case.
Yeah,
it had everything to do with the case.
I'm not gonna lie. That case was one of the images of everything that was going on. That final hearing, from what I seen, that was one of the worst displays of fucking
white privilege,
slavery, for not deeper than white privilege, just slavery. Like black people, you had the judge give her a hug. We had the bailiff rubbing her hair. The brother, he disappointed me the most. Not with the forgiveness. The forgiveness, I commend him for that. The forgiveness, that was strong. But what he said out his mouth was, I forgive you, and I wish they didn't even give you any jail time. That was, when he said that part, I was just like, oh.
Maybe his brother had a will, he wouldn't be on it.
That nigga is crazy. He said he wished she didn't have any jail time. I'm gonna keep it a bean. God forbid anything that happened like that to one of y'all. A cop is gonna pay. I just feel like a cop has to pay.
I think that he did that as a cover-up to what's really gonna happen to her. Because if they're really from St. Lucia, they're really that was like, you know what? You killed my brother. I'm not gonna want you to see that I want you to suffer, but you're gonna suffer. Like
they about to make her put her through some real souffle. Para souffle na met,
because I heard from someone that I know that does voodoo, not my team, that giving them a hug is a sign of you transferring like I got you. Like it's like you transferring that's like the final thing before
you about to get hit with some real Z shit.
Yeah.
Some big Z.
That's a contract right there.
What?
I don't know, man. But
I don't know, but
that whole thing
that was a horrible display.
I did hear they were talking about how people were rumoring that they had something, but eventually came out that maybe they didn't, and they had some text messages between her and her partner.
Right.
Like, I guess that could have been smoke and mirror too, because they had some text messages about her and her partner just bad mouthing black cops. So it was like, so they were trying to put on top that she may have like her own views of black people to begin with.
She definitely had a strong preconceived notion of this black guy. She had to be off something though, like because why couldn't this happen any other day? You get what I'm saying? Like why that day?
And those are like they were supposed to be like luxury apartments, like you know what I mean? So that could play into it, like, yo, why is he here? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. It was weird because they were saying how the doors were built. The doors are like they have these anti-lock type doors, like some smart type doors. You know what I mean? It was like no regular stuff.
But you know how it is. I'm not even gonna lie.
Let her in because they knew each other. Like, oh yeah, hey, you can come in for some coffee or something or something. I think they had evidence that they didn't want to share because they wanted to make it seem like it was a mistake. But I feel like it was done purposely. Yeah. They removed the evidence that they had to tell people. Because let me tell you.
Well, they did say there was a witness that did mention that she was yelling out, "Let me in." I don't know about that. I don't know how true that was, but
I don't think that was true.
No. Yeah, they said that they.
I just feel like it was. I think it was.
That was probably the 10-year balance, so everybody could be thrown off and confused on the jury. But the jury wasn't confused. It is what it is type of.
Yeah. Yo, you ever been to a jury duty selection process?
I did.
I think I was supposed to, but I don't know what happened.
Yo, the way they select is shiesty.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah, you gotta have the right answers, the way they select is shiesty. They want to know that they want to see how do you think before they select you. They don't just random. So growing up, I always used to think because they said in a jury of your peers, I thought they just randomly select and they put you in there. No, there's a process you go through. You have to answer the questions the right way.
So it's a 2-part selection process. You saying that they calling you up and they still got to see if you fit to be a part of the joint.
Yeah.
That's a bad joint.
So that's one thing when I first did it in Philly. It was the first time I did it in Philly, right? Well, one thing I would say, both sides get to pick.
Yeah.
Both prosecutors pick. So it really does.
Prosecutors pick. You mean?
I mean, not
lawyers?
prosecutors, both lawyers. Sorry, prosecutor and defense attorney. But what? So I remember when I did it in Philly. I remember right before I went in, I was asking coworkers like, I don't want to, because people kept telling me like, yeah, it's kind of messed up because you spend the whole day and they pay you $9 a day or something crazy, right? I was like, I ain't trying to miss out on money getting paid $9 a day. So I was asking them like, how do I get out? And they were like, just be impartial. Don't give an opinion on anything. Don't give a strong opinion because they want people with strong opinions. But if you seem like you're just like whatever, they be like, all right, this person we can't sway this person. We can't, you know what I mean? If they feel like they don't understand how you think, we're not gonna pick you. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm gonna just be honest. The criminal justice system in America.
I can't even talk about what I was about to say, cause I was about
especially for us.
But I've been called for jury duty and.
Yeah, my whole thing is like the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment, right? It's just like it's such a heavy joint.
Oh my God, yeah, that thing's crazy.
You know, so
slavery.
I just feel like it's just not designed for us. The whole system, you feel me? And the fact that we started to talk about it again, and that got swept under the rug again, and then we back on this gay thing like you were talking about again. It's just like that's just America letting you know, like, look, guys, you guys came in as slaves. You guys came in as the bottom of the barrel. Come on, you know, like
you know your place.
In a few years,
you know your place.
Like, in a few years, it's gonna be.
You guys are entertaining.
White people are gonna be our slaves.
You think so?
I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening without war.
You know what's gonna happen?
People ready to kill some motherfuckers is not happening.
You know what's gonna happen first? And that's if there's no if they don't start having like some secret coalition to end this. Before that happens, the whole country's just gonna be mixed as fuck.
The whole country's already
mixed as fuck.
Yeah, it's gonna be a country full of Patrick Mahomes.
There's gonna be a bunch of Edens.
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, that's what it's gonna look like.
Who's Patrick Mahomes?
Eden still look black.
Yeah, Eden is a little black, but he curly. He curled up.
You know what I mean? They won't look like Patrick Mahomes. Like, is he white? Is he black?
They say 20 years from now, there's gonna be a bunch of Patrick Mahomes going on. That's a fact.
That's going on now already.
No, it is. But it's just gonna be. It's gonna be more of it.
So that's gonna happen before.
It's gonna be Asian whites. It's gonna be black Asians. It's gonna be black Latinos, black whatever. It's gonna be.
I think
a bunch of stuff.
That mixed breed shit with the social media mixed breed shit is good in the sense that at least the new generation has a broader horizon. Even though
the new generation is more diverse.
But there's a little bit disgustingness in it though. There's a little bit of nastiness to it though. When you think of like how some people like that's what they go for. Like then I need a mixed baby kind of thing. So it's
like
kind of like
Brown type shit. I feel that. Like Chris Brown, like he said he not really with the black girls for
it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's nuts to me.
But then
so
that's
I understand if it's natural, but if it's like
preference.
But for me, what I like about it is it kind of like diffuses the strong sense of segregation in the United States, because obviously segregation never went anywhere. But for the mind, at least, because, you know, people from the suburbs, they're still not going to experience what we experience in the inner city, but at least they get a little bit of understanding. So when you meet them in these college classes, they're not completely blinded and shocked by your points of views, or you're not completely shocked by their points of views. And at least there's a little silver lining, so we can, you know, meet in the middle ground. But it wasn't a lot of middle ground before. The social media era is going to give you a little bit more middle ground, outside of the fact that with these geofencing and these crazy ass algorithms, they keep trying to force feed you whatever fucking they want you to see based off of who you follow and what area you're from. Because it took me a long time to make my Instagram not super hood. Like it took me a long time to not
take you a while.
Make it hood. I had to hit the see fewer posts like this type of button, just because I don't mind the ratchetness, but they try to force feed me all ratchetness. I'm like, I follow Grant Cardone, I follow Tony Robbins. How the fuck I'm getting all of this ratchetness? Like, you're not giving me nothing positive. I had to start following all these extra positive people. Social media is fucked up.
It is.
That's Mark Zuckerberg and them. They don't got no rap.
But think about
they really trying to get rid of all the.
I watched part of The Great Hack too. That's a good joint right there.
Great Hack. I don't know that one.
Great Hack is about Cambridge Analytica, the motherfuckers that made the propaganda for people to vote for Trump. Even though 2016 Trump, to me, I feel like he should have won anyway. But it was a lot of social media propaganda. They used it based off of having like what they said, like 5,000 access points or data points per person type joint. So Junior has 5,000 data. Joe has 5,000 data points. Lou has 5,000 data points. This is based off of what you like. This is based off of what the person that you like, what they like. This is based off of the apps that you download on your Facebook page. Certain apps that you download on your Facebook page, you don't know if your friend downloads that app, now you have access to all this information type shit.
They program your mind to be distracted from voting, to be distracted from picking a woman or picking Hillary in particular, or they do all of that. They have like their little system, just like when you go to the casino. I know
everything's data.
They have a system. If you just came from a machine and a person just won, and you think you about to go back after they just won and you think you're going to win, you're going to lose everything that you put in that machine.
That's a fact.
30 minutes to an hour, then that machine will start letting people win again. It's the same thing with people. They make certain products, like they focus trends on certain things. Don't you see that when it's a suicide trend, it's always massive suicides at once? Don't you see that?
Well,
like for example, when Kate Spade killed herself, then Anthony Bourdain, then it was just like back to back to back. It was just like within like a week, like 7 people died. Like off.
You're talking about like
they were pushing it. They were pushing that whole suicide thing.
It's like an explosive desensitization tactic that they use.
They use Netflix too. They use Netflix too. Netflix, you'll see like at once they'll be trending like a whole certain type of shows or something, because they know these are the type of shows that once you watch it, it's going to trigger you to act a certain way. It's going to trigger you to think a certain way. It's going to trigger you to do something. It's a trend that they're enforcing into you.
So what do you think is a trend right now that you see?
When I was in fashion school, they told us what basically before fashion designers real designers make their clothes, they have to go through a trend segment of what's going to be the trend. So a couple years from now, they said everything was going to be big, everything was going to be personalized, social media was going to be really popular. I knew about this before Instagram was even like popping, because I went to this trend forecasting thing that that different companies go to it. Fashion companies, business companies, all different type of companies go to these trend things so they can know how to attract their consumer.
Because I mean, marketing is important, but
that's what I'm saying.
Lou, what do you think is a big trend right now?
Huh?
What do you think is a big trend right now? What do you feel like is a big trend?
Well, the LGBTQ is making people feel like it's okay for you to be gay. It's okay for you to be poly. It's okay for you to like more than one thing. It's okay for you to that's a trend.
I like one thing about that. I like one thing.
I'm not against that it's okay thing.
Yeah.
Like it is okay. I don't care.
I mean,
just don't force feed it to me.
I don't like the force feeding that Joe's talking about, but the it's okay thing, more people need to address that, because I feel like if you feel like it's okay, you're gonna feel like it's okay. I don't feel like you need to program that into a child's mind, whereas though like you really like, you kind of preying on a kid, like that's a little. I don't agree with that at all.
There's a difference.
Another trend is defending the trend of defending yourself with an audience that supports you.
That's because it's social media. That's social media.
It's social media.
That's like victimization for real. But let me say what I was gonna say real quick though. The reason I said that I agree with that, saying that being gay is okay, is because the down low community to me is too big. I don't think a down low community should be that big, because the whole down low idea results from shame. I feel like shame is like one of the worst emotions to hold. And if anytime I'm talking about anything gay, I'm gonna make it seem like okay, whether I agree with it or not, because I at least want you to be okay with your sexual preference. Because to me, that's what it should be about. It should be about sexual preference. It shouldn't be about penetrating a child's mind to make a child feel like they should be gay now, or you need to make a decision now, type John. You know what I'm saying? But if you gay, be comfortable in your sexual preference. You a man, you like men. Yo, you like men. You get what I'm saying? And
have children.
If you own it, you'll disclose it more comfortably to the next woman, and a woman is going to be more comfortable accepting it. But if we keep shaming gay people, what's going to happen is this whole down low thing is going to keep growing, and all of the, I'm not going to say only bad stuff come out of the down low. That's not my judgment, but more, if there are bad stuff coming out of this down low culture, it's going to keep being bad.
I feel like another trend is giving kids the opportunity to be adults before they grow up.
That's been the trend, though. That's been the trend since David was a kid.
Yeah. That's been the whole like, don't put your hands on your kids.
No,
let your kids speak back. Like, that's what I was saying.
They're sexualizing kids more now than they were.
They've been sexualizing kids. You remember Lil Bow Wow?
No, Lil
Bow Wow was probably the most sexualized little kid in the world.
I think what Lou is saying is more like the decisions, the ultimate decisions.
The decisions.
Pick a side now. Pick a side now, Ted John. Do you want to be a man? You want to be a girl? I think you're a girl, even though you're a boy. You're a girl. You're a girl, right? You're a girl.
I don't think they're making them pick a side. In my opinion, they're forcing them.
It's more so
they're forcing them to be trans at a young age.
No,
and they forcing them to be on some like, yo, you're not man or you're not a man or a female. You don't know yet.
Like for example, my coworker boyfriend paints his toenails.
You said what?
My coworker is a girl. Her fiance is a man or boy, and he paints his toenails.
Her fiance paints his toenails?
Colors, but not pink, like black or blue.
No, I'm not mad.
Is he gothic?
No, he's not.
They're
poly, but it's poly with females. Like they both had a girlfriend that was their girlfriend. They don't have like mutual boyfriends. They have like mutual girlfriends. Like they're poly, but they're thingy. And she was telling me today, actually, she was like, yeah, her boyfriend paints his nails like black or blue. And I was like, okay. And she was like, she doesn't see nothing wrong with it. And I asked her, was he goth? And I was like, that was bad of me, because I kind of like was like, oh, well, if you're goth, it's okay. But I was just like, oh, okay, well, like he does what he does, like whatever. Like, I don't care about that. But I'm not going to tell my child. Whatever. I'm not going to tell my child.
It's good.
you could put nail polish or whatever. This is the thing with this generation that I appreciate, but then it's kind of scary at the same time. Is giving kids the opportunity to express themselves to the capacity. That's good in a way, but then it's kind of like, because it's like,
you know what I feel like. I feel like parents should be able to decide, but why I say I feel like the agenda is to change the culture of parenting is because these kids that they're confusing now are going to be parents one day. So if I can keep you confused to the point that you become a parent and you're still confused, you're not going to know right from wrong as to what you pass on to your kids. The same thing that I'm putting on you, you're going to give that to your kids. So they're going to just completely dissolve these generations as far as the timing that you need to receive this information. I'm not saying the painting of the nails is bad. These decisions that you're making is bad. I may not agree with them, but what you're saying that I agree with because they don't care about the timing no more. Forget the timing. I'm giving it to you whenever you're born. This is what's going on. Your cartoons, the kids shows, two dad houses. Like when I was growing up, I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't seen nothing like that. I'm not old. I'm only 20.
It was there, but it wasn't like
two dads type John, two moms. Like I ain't seen none of that.
Yeah.
Well, that's because no lie, like people that were living like that were more private back in the day.
Yeah, because they had to be private. Because
that's also the freedom of expression. But we can't be mad. Like we honestly can't be mad. Like these shows get views. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be on TV. Right. They get views. They get an audience.
They also cause confusion though.
They do,
they
but
get an audience because one thing, and this may not be 100% it, because I actually had this conversation with someone before the other day, actually. But I'll use an example, and what we actually were talking about was Moonlight, right? Some of these movies that are gay they're not meant for everyone. Yeah. That's not a story for everyone to relate with because it's a gay story. Right. But a lot of times, especially in let's call it liberal, but especially in a liberal-ish world, the idea is to be, I have to be accepting. If I seem like someone who's not accepting, then I'm not gonna be, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be bad, blah blah blah. So Moonlight comes out. Okay, I have to prove that I'm accepting. I'm gonna go see Moonlight. You're watching it. You don't relate with that crap at all, but you have to tell everyone, I saw it. Oh yeah, I did it. Oh yeah, Moonlight, great movie.
That's how I'm different.
Awesome movie. You know what I mean? Like, all because they want people to understand. All because they want the image of, you're accepting. Oh, you want to, you know what I mean?
You're one of the good that make these movies, even whether that's the intent or not, or the people that go watch them with no intent, I just feel like they need to tap into their subconscious and at least understand the power of their subconscious mind. Because that's why I be cool off TV for the most part. Because if it's something like that, and I know I'm not interested into it, I don't even want this. I don't want to just like expose myself to anything. You feel me? Right. Our brains are very sensitive. What we see, we're sensitive to it. You feel me? I don't need to even re-experience something not like that in my mind. I don't want to see none of that type joint. So me personally, I'd rather stay away. Not that I'm against it, whatever's going on, that's cool, what's going on, but that's just ain't for me. But people be feeling like they gotta go see it just cause talk about it. That shit is
like what are you proving? Like
I don't have the this is the thing, this one thing about me now is like I don't have the urge to give a fuck about other people's opinions. Like I just don't care anymore. Like I don't care. Like for example, if I post something and you don't like it and you want to give me a string of your opinion why I should take it down, I'm leaving it up. Because you need to remove yourself from being offended by something that you shouldn't even be worried about. That's how it is with me. Like what was trending the other day, and I was like, okay, I don't care. There was some Spanish girl or some white girl that said a rap, and she was saying like nigga and all that stuff, but she was basically
I remember her.
Yeah, and it was trending on Twitter.
Claudio. Was it the Claudio girl?
People were getting so offended.
Oh no, America something. Her name is America something.
No,
she has a show. She's on
she looked like
Jane, the Virgin.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot her name, but she was trending, and I was just like, okay, like okay, she was rapping a song, like y'all getting offended for nothing, but y'all just want to, like, it's like a million people that commented on one post, and I was just like, all y'all comments is gonna make a difference. How? Like, y'all all, like, I'm pretty sure y'all have friends that do the same thing, that rap off of it's a rap. Like, I have male friends that rapped off of Meek Mill or whatever, and they're not black. I'm not gonna say, oh, you can't say a certain line from Meek. It's a song. Meek Mill made that song for everybody. You could be a fan and still sing the song, and just because you're a white fan, you can't say certain words. Why should we get offended off of a word that you're saying that a black person is saying? Do you understand?
I would say this. There's 2 points to this though.
Like, if you're posting to be like I don't know. For me, I don't care.
Like, I kind of care though. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't care.
For me, it's a respect factor.
Right. What do you care? What do you care about, Joe?
So when it comes to like a white person rapping lyrics with the N-word,
yeah.
If you say it to my face, I'm gonna automatically think you don't respect me. Of course you're at home saying it all you, especially if you're really into, who says nigga a lot?
Okay, can I?
So if you're really into that artist, guarantee you said it already, right? I don't care about
said it in your mind.
But the fact that you don't respect me enough to be like, all right, I'm not gonna say it in front of you, tells me that you don't respect me. That's a whole nother level of something. When someone makes it, the same way, if I was in front of a Indian person or a Native American or whatever, I wouldn't use derogatory terms in front of them. You know what I mean? Or for respect, to show you, like, I'm gonna respect the fact that you're here. But if you're gonna just say it willy nilly and then disrespect that I'm even here, that's a whole nother.
I'm not gonna lie, but this might be
random. I feel like all of that was done on purpose.
I do be respecting people, but for some reason, a lot of cultures outside of a black culture, when you see a black image specifically that looks like this, when you deliver their language to them and their tone, I know sometimes I could probably just be funny or whatever the case may be. They listen.
What do you mean, like
if I talk to an Indian guy like this, buddy,
really,
he gonna listen to me from the red, and I'm gonna do it from the red.
See, the thing is, if you run into an Americanized person from India, they'll get offended.
No, but I'm not gonna do it to them.
I'm not offended about whatever. She was rapping the song. She was
whatever voice
singing the song, like she was just in her moment, like she could sing a Beyonce song and Beyonce couldn't refer to a certain lyric that relates to her being black, and you're a Caucasian or Asian or whatever person, and you're singing it, and you're singing it just because you feeling the vibe, but you're not feeling it the vibe that Beyonce's trying to give you, because she's a black woman. So when you singing it and she's talking about her afro or whatever the case may be, you could say that, but it's not like, I'm not gonna be offended because you said it. You're enjoying her song. You're just
only reason I have a problem with her trying to be serious now is that I do have white friends, and white people that really care about black people. Like, it sounds bad to say it like that, but the white ones that really care about black people, they don't say nigga at all. Like, they not only do they not say nigga, they get mad at people that say the N-word. Like, they'll get mad at another white person for having any type of weird little opinion about black people. They come to our defense a lot, you know. I'm not saying that they're enough for the whole white picture, that one white friend should make you look at all white people like they're all the same. They're not. But what I can say is white people that genuinely care about black people, you're not going to hear them say the N-word.
Yeah, because it's a respect factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to respect it.
So
they don't like the word. They literally don't like the word. They have understanding with it. They're like, no, this is wrong.
And I don't even care if you like the word or not. Like, you could be like for instance,
that offends white people.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure we say stuff that offends them.
Yeah, but white people feel so guilty behind slavery that we get away with anything. We call these motherfuckers whatever we want because they know slavery is so bad. White people can't fathom that they got away with slavery. And they wake up every day like,
basically just said this.
He did these niggas dirty. I'm gonna give it a beat.
Like we did
white people,
like, yeah. But at the same time, and this is me personally, there is a lot of racist things you could say. I would never say any not racist because black people can't be racist. There's nothing
black people love
anti-white. There's nothing anti-white I would ever say in front of white people. Because you know what that automatically sets up? That automatically sets up their feeling like, oh, he thinks that's cool. Okay, I guess I can say the N-word and I can sing a song. So how would you feel, Lorna, if there was a person saying I love rap, right? And next to you they were singing a song that's like, fuck these niggas. And he's into it. Like you saying, he's feeling the vibe. He's feeling the vibe, you know what I mean? And he's like, fuck these niggas. He's like, don't you like that song? You know what I mean? I'm
not gonna front. I went to Time and there was these white guys singing "Welcome to Jamrock." They had the whole fake ass Jamaican accent. Right. This was disrespectful to me. Why? Because number one, y'all don't have an accent. You could have sang it in your regular white voice. You didn't have to fake a Jamaican accent, and you deeply talking about the Jamrock hood, and you don't know nothing about the fucking hood. That's different because you're in a live show where people are actually tipping you. You understand what I'm saying? But if you're in the comfort of your home and you just being goofy.
Wait. Was these the type of white boys with dreads?
No.
You talking about these type of white boys?
No. They were
regular MAGA hats. They had MAGA hats and they had them.
They were regular
khaki shorts.
They were in a band.
Yeah.
You know how some bands they just play.
Yeah, with Crocs.
Wait. You know how some bands they play like music, like beats and like they use the drum. Like it'll be someone that play the drum. It'll be someone that has like the vocals, and it'll be someone that had the saxophone. It was one of those type of things, but the drummer was just like, and then we were just everybody was like, no.
The low key, I'm not. The reason I ain't mad at that drum,
I ain't mad at that.
It's just because like that's them just super appreciating our culture. And they're not going to be like, well, welcome to Jamrock. You know, like.
Yeah, I know
that. Lord of mercy.
Lord of mercy.
I know,
Lord
but
of mercy.
Like he was passionately singing this song, and you could tell he was whatever. But it came.
They probably should have had a black person in the band.
He was rapping like these hard ass lyrics about like in the hood and shit, and he like however
he should have made it. They should have made it a karaoke.
And he was like he felt like it was him. Like he was so passionate about it, and then me and these two other black girls was like, yeah, no. And
I didn't feel the vibe. It was like it was a parody.
They were like, yeah, but it was not only the.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Nah, it was.
I ain't mad at it.
I'm
really not mad at it.
It's when you say, to me, the only thing I don't want to hear is derogatory.
It was a bad performance.
Don't be derogatory in my face. That means you don't respect me.
No, that's real.
To me, it's a respect factor. Like, if you say derogatory things to my face and look me in my face, you're basically I can only assume you're just saying, yeah, do something, nigger. That's what I can assume.
Suburban white boys use nigger more because they're separated, segregated from black people.
But they use nigger
they still true, but they still enjoy our music, and they still, unlike the inner city kids, they still see us subconsciously 3/5 because the inner city kids don't say it and they're offended by it because they don't have the segregation factor. You know, unless it's a neighborhood segregation, a distant thing. What a kid in the suburbs outside of Philadelphia versus like the deep northeast Philadelphia, still two different white boys.
Because at the end of the day, and that's one thing that I feel like, I'm not white, so I don't know 100%. I think subconsciously, most white people see us as a joke. We're something to be laughed at. We're something to make them laugh. We're something to like parody. You know what I mean? We entertain them. You know what I mean?
That's how it is at most jobs when when it's a white manager and it's predominantly black associates. They start feeling that challenge. Like they want to be like, you know what? I'm gonna make this experience as shitty as possible for you, or break it down so you can feel as comfortable as possible, so that you know that when you come to work, you listening to me.
Can I be honest though? Can I be honest?
I dealt with that at my job, and I had to
my experiences.
I had to humble everybody. You know how I humbled everybody at my job, because I was a new black girl, and they felt like, oh, we gotta keep telling. I was like, number one, I have years of experience in retail. Number two, if y'all keep harassing me, I will contact corporate. What do? They flip. Cause most people are like scared, or they're like not.
Was these the white people in there, or the black people?
White, and the one black guy that's white.
All right, so let me say that, because my experience been, for my part, white people, number one, they don't like confrontation, especially with black people. I'm not talking about confrontation. Like, they don't like serious conversations for when it's black versus white.
They don't want you to react. They just want you to.
So what I see the house nigga syndrome more because more black people that were in superior position attempted at least to be a little get out of line with me. At least the attempt. They never was successful, but the attempt was more with other black people, black superiors that needed to be checked, versus me having to check a white superior. Every time I had to come close to checking a white superior, I realized they couldn't really take the one-on-one conversation. They're sending a text message, and that's the only way they could get through the joint. But the whole conversation, eye-to-eye contact with a black person, they not with the shits. I never experienced that in my life.
With me, they see that they couldn't verbally harass me, because I was like toot. Like, I was like a fucking knife on their ass, that they started like fucking with my schedule. Like, for example, like, let's say I can't work on Fridays. They will put me on a Friday and be like, well, if you don't come to your shift, that's a point and you can get terminated. They will start to do shit like that to me.
Well, that's how you fire somebody. I'm a manager, so I know all about that game. That's how you fire somebody.
Yeah, that's what they was trying to do. But then when I let them know that I was gonna contact corporate, they fixed all of that shit and they apologized to me. Cause they saw like, damn, like we can't break her. Listen, I was late for like the first couple of days of my first week. Once they gave me don't be late thing, I started being early. They didn't have nothing to challenge me for. I started being early. Once my break came, I clocked out for my break. I clocked back in from my break on time. They were just like, what? So then there started being a wardrobe thing. Oh, can you that's a little bit outside of our rules. I read the rules. That's not outside of the rules. You're just offended that the way that this looks on me is like you're sexualized by my image. Because the white girl wears jeans and it's tight, it's not a problem. But when a black girl wears jeans and it's tight, you sexualize her. You understand what I'm saying?
It's not just that. You got that. You're abrasive. You get what I'm saying? I remember being in Valley Forge, and we wasn't raping no kids. It's rape. There's all type of weird shit going on in Valley Forge Military College, every military college across the United States.
Really?
The worst type of stuff that gets swept under the rug, and it's all about stuff getting swept under the rug. But us being loud seems like the biggest problem. I'm not talking about no robbing, no stealing, no nothing. I'm just talking about we're in the lunchroom and we're loud, so they're intimidated. But they're quiet and they're raping each other. We talking about rape. That 13 reasons why, that's real. That's a real joint.
I know it is. But wait, let me tell you. So they harass me. They're like, damn, like they can't break me. I'm not about to quit because number one, I'm a single mom and I got responsibilities, so they know they can't break me. Other people don't already quit. I'm still there. Like what you thought that you could say something to me and I'm gonna break and I'm gonna just leave? No, before I leave, I'm gonna have a backup and then I'm gonna make you feel dumb for making me leave. So what I do now is every single customer that I interact with, I remind them that there's a survey that they can fill out. Guess who got the top positive surveys?
You are.
Yeah.
But they always gonna be offended by you because they don't feel like they can control you.
Yeah, they
don't
can't.
Feel like they can control you.
They can't, and they're pissed off about that. They're so annoyed about it. It's like, dang, she keep being early. Why she not being late no more? Why she taking her break when she gotta come? Like now they're like digging. So my availability is a certain time, and now they were trying to put me on days that they know I couldn't work and claim that was business needs. And if I don't make it, like giving me like threats and stuff. And I was just like, yo, like if y'all keep harassing me, I will contact corporate. Cause at the end of the day, I thought about it like this: like we both getting paid from the company. Like they're not signing my checks. Like we're all getting paid from someone higher than them. But because they have that close power that they can contact someone higher and tell them certain things, they want you to feel like oh my gosh. Oh, but they don't understand like I'm not one of those people that I'm gonna let you break me easily, and I'm gonna give you all that power that you want so bad. Like
I'm in corporate America, and I go through the same type of thing. I never really had to make I'll call corporate threaten. I just talk to people and realize, because to be honest, people are so horrible at concealing their intentions. Their whole thing is they have a problem with a confident black person. When they have a problem with a confident black human being, they're looking for multiple reasons because they don't know how to motivate people. They don't know that leadership is the right way to motivate. They want to motivate you through fear. So once they're like, man, this person's too confident, I can't really instill fear in them. I'm intimidated by whatever they got going on. I guess this is not working. Something's not working about this person. Now they gotta look for something. They gotta find something that's not even there type of. You feel me? And just because they can't do what they do to everybody else, which is threatening them, and they're like, I'm gonna get this performance. I'm gonna keep threatening them. They're gonna get so scared of me. Shit, I don't care if I make that person's day fucked up. Who gives a shit? Like, you don't gotta work like that. I'm saying everybody got a life. You gotta fuck people's lives up.
I'm not gonna lie. I never had those experiences, to be honest.
You're a guy.
I've seen people.
It's not about being a guy. It's not about being a guy. It's about
it all depends on your industry.
The industry.
Industry is different.
So my thing is, I've never played the political thing, and I've always been keep to myself type of person at work as well. So I never had to deal with personalities outside of like, you know, little things here and there, but not like hard personalities like issues. That's what I deal with. You know, right? Yeah, I've never really had to deal with it. So it's like
I'm assuming
me being a female, me being a black female, me being a mom, they feel like those are things that will break me into being weak for them. But those are things that strengthen me to put my foot down. Cause it's like at the end of the day, you want me to break so bad, but I'm not like I had to tell one of the managers the other day, I said, I'm not working for you. I'm working with you. You just have to make sure that everything that we're supposed to do goes the way it's supposed to go. But you don't control me. It's a difference. Right. Like you're here to make sure to make sure that everything operates a certain way for the person that owns the company. You can't like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't.
And if anybody's working, for somebody, y'all working for each other. If he's working for you and you working for him. Yeah. Period.
Like, and I was saying that, and I was just like, I see what y'all doing. Y'all keep putting me on days that I'm not supposed to be working. Y'all putting me for shifts. Like if my availability starts at 9:30, they put me at 9 o'clock, knowing damn well there's no way I could get there at 9 o'clock. So she tried it with me, and then she's like, "No, you have to come at 9, or that's gonna be a point taken off." I said no, because that's not part of my availability. And my child's bus come at 8:20. There's no way I'm gonna be here at 9, and I'm not catching the Uber to get here on time. And she was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna talk to such and such, and we'll see about that." Like she tried to have like this big power thing. The manager was like, "Yeah, we already spoke to Lou. She can't work at 9. She can't work at 9. Her availability is 9:30." She came up to me and was like, "I'm so sorry." And she started like, "Oh, you like these sunglasses? These will look nice on you." Oh yeah.
Yo, I hate fake people. And I'm like, God. I would have been like, personally, I would have been like, okay. Every single
person that I had that day, she tried to give like a second opinion to, because number one, she knew I was getting good reviews. She knew that it was nothing to break me. She knew that I wasn't doing anything. It was nothing for her to find to make me like crumble. So she every person that I had, she was just like, yeah, she's awesome. She's this. I was just like,
but you don't even gotta be offended at doing.
Huh?
The best thing to do in them joints is
kill them with kindness.
But Joe, I'm gonna ask you this though. You might not play politics, but I would assume in your industry, you probably go through a lot of people taking credit for what you do.
No.
You get all the credit for all you work.
Because it's all digital. So when I do something, my name's on it. Okay. The only thing someone can probably take credit for is ideas, because that doesn't go on that doesn't get recorded. But at the same time, the way I've always worked is it's a group thing. So our ideas, any idea that comes out of anything is a combination of ideas. You know what I mean? So as far as like straight ideas, if I had straight ideas, that's usually because I don't usually have strong ideas for companies I work for. I have strong ideas for myself.
Yeah.
Facts. I feel that out.
So the only strong ideas I've ever had were for my side stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anything else, if it's for a company, I have collaborative ideas.
That makes perfect sense.
You know what I mean? So
that makes perfect sense.
At the end of the day, like, you work for them, but you don't want to give them too much of your all, because at the end of the day, they're gonna get credit for your creativity instead of you.
I mean, but that's a given though, right? So in my job, yes, the company's making money off of this app, right? I have no ownership of the app, but I wrote it. But that's because I wrote it using their time, their money, their equipment, so it automatically belongs to them. That's something that you give up from the start. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If I wanted to fight it, I could say no. I want to be a contractor and I want a joint. I want it to be a joint. So whatever I build, I want 10% of. Right. But no one's gonna do that because they're gonna be like, okay, then we're not gonna hire you. We're gonna find someone who's not gonna ask for that. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things you know that when you were hired by a company in IT, that's just how it goes. Unless you're like working for like some startup, where most of the time startups, they don't pay you because they give you, instead of paying you, they give you percentage, as opposed to, and that's why I say, and that feeds also the idea thing. So being in that situation, you're not very much you don't have much of a drive to give them strong ideas like that. You know what I mean? Any ideas you give them is going to be anything like, okay, let's talk, let's have a meeting, let's talk this over, let's make decision on this. You know what I mean? But other than that, if I have a strong idea, it's mainly because I'm thinking of something on the side. I don't think of work that hard.
I got you.
You know what I mean? And if I'm thinking of work hard, it's probably because I'm thinking of a problem that I'm working on. It's not necessarily I'm thinking I'm working hard to make them $1 million. No. The only $1 million ideas I'm thinking of is for me.
Hell yeah. Because when they make $1 million, you're still going to get that little cut of your salary.
Yeah, that's all you get is your salary. And not to say I'm purposely keeping things away from them. Yeah, if I see something, I'll be like, that might be a little better. But I'm not going to go hard on it and lose sleep on thinking up something. I lose sleep mainly. The only time I've ever lost sleep at work is if I'm behind on something I already promised. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, I lose sleep. I'll say, all right, I need to stay up tonight and do some work. But I'm not losing sleep on, okay, I need to make them $1 million idea so this company could come from $1 million company to $1 billion. I'm not losing sleep on that.
I feel that, man.
You know what I mean? I'm losing sleep on that for myself.